And good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. That is right. We have made it. I was singing all along in the newsroom. Everybody asked me to stop. We are taking a live look
yes, we
outside
did.
this morning over downtown Denver. We're going to take some vocal lessons. Maybe we'll work on it. Of course, we are getting ready for some of that snow to start moving into the area. We could actually see some a little bit later today, too.
Yeah, we could see a couple of snow showers this morning, and then we get a little break during the afternoon. This we talked about yesterday. And then about 5, 6, 7 o'clock, that's when we see the snow move in because we get another surge of cold air and moisture as the storm system begins to move into the state. So 25 degrees right now, really not all that bad when the normal low would be 19. You see the single digits, teens and 20s around the state, couple of 30s in there as well. And we'll see mostly cloudy skies with snow developing today. You see that winter storm watch goes into effect 5 p.m. today till midnight on Saturday. 3 to 5 inches of snow falls in the city, and you can see 25 degrees for a low tonight. Then tomorrow, 34 degrees. But look at this. Sunday, we're back to sunny skies and 39, and we're in the 40s with sunny to partly sunny skies to start next week.
Ed, thank you so much. Right now, we're taking a live look from our CDOT cameras, I-25 for those heading north or southbound right near Arapahoe Road. Things are looking quiet. We love to see this, especially for a Friday morning, so definitely take advantage if this is part of your morning drive. Do want to switch things over to our main graphics. You can see we are very much in the green. We love to see this. So if you're heading down southbound I-25 at 144th Avenue, it's going to be a 9-minute drive. No delays, no crashes there. Fort Collins commute still in the clear, so here are your drive times before you head out the door. Right near that CDOT camera downtown to the tech center, it's going to be a 15-minute drive both ways.
Brianna, thank you. Today, a woman convicted of making false child abuse claims against an Aurora council person is set to be sentenced. Robin Niceta called a child abuse hotline in 2022 and falsely claimed Aurora councilwoman Danielle Jinsky abused her child. The false claim came one day after Jinsky called Aurora's then chief of police trash on a radio show. Chief Vanessa Wilson and Niceta were dating at the time. Niceta's sentencing was previously pushed back because her attorney had a health issue. Today's sentencing is set for 9 a.m.
The man who pleaded guilty to playing a central role in a downtown Denver shooting that hurt 6 other people will serve 30 months in prison. Jordan Waddy pleaded guilty to possession of a weapon by a previous offender. In July of 2022, Denver police say that Waddy pulled out a gun as officers broke up a fight outside a bar. Officers opened fire, hurting 6 bystanders and Waddy. Brandon Ramos, one of the officers who fired, pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 18 months probation.
Coben Porter, a former DU basketball player and brother of a Nuggets star, pleaded guilty to driving drunk, killing an Uber driver and hurting her passenger. He's avoiding a potential 24-year prison sentence with this plea deal. Porter, brother of Nuggets Michael Porter Jr., was driving drunk near DU's campus last January when he ran a red light and crashed into Katharina Rothman. Rothman died and her passenger was hurt. He faced multiple felony charges for the crash. With this plea deal, his sentence won't be more than 8 years in prison. He's due to be sentenced in April. Porter is still facing a lawsuit from the victims' families. The Colorado Department of Transportation is asking drivers to keep the points on the field and off your record this weekend. Police across the state are already increasing their DUI enforcement in preparation for the Super Bowl.
9 News reporter Courtney Yoon joins us live in Denver. And Courtney, drivers can expect to see more patrols out on the roadway through the end of the month.
Yeah, that's right, Corey and Jordan. You can expect to see heavy patrols out there on the roadways for the next couple of weeks after Super Bowl weekend. Then they're going to start beginning for President's Day weekend with increased DUI enforcement. Now, Colorado State Patrol and 70 local law enforcement agencies across the state will be increasing DUI enforcement. There will be lots of celebrating this weekend at Super Bowl parties, and police want to remind football fans to get a sober ride home if you plan on drinking. CDOT says there were 231 DUI arrests during last year's Super Bowl weekend enforcement period. More than 200 people were killed last year on our roadways because of impaired drivers.
If you are hosting a party, just encourage your guests to get dropped off, serve plenty of food, non-alcoholic beverages, maybe take away those alcoholic beverages after halftime. All sorts of things that you can do to keep your guests safe.
And there isn't a guarantee that there will be roadway checkpoints this weekend, but you might see those out there. You will definitely see an increased amount of patrols removing impaired drivers from our roadways. Corey, Jordan.
Yeah, got to be safe out there the next few days for sure with all the parties. Courtney, thank you.
Coloradans trying to block Donald Trump from the primary ballot had a bad day before the Supreme Court, but they seem satisfied that they tried.
The justices heard more than 2 hours of arguments in the legal attempt to keep Trump off the ballot based on the insurrection clause of the 14th Amendment. Marshall Zellinger was in the chambers in D.C.
Inside, the 9 justices asked pointed yet skeptical questions about the effort by 6 Colorado voters to disqualify former President Trump from the ballot. Liberal Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson seemed frustrated with the answers she was hearing. Conservative Justice Samuel Alito reclined nearly horizontal for part of the questioning. Several justices raised the concern that if they allow Colorado to remove Trump from the ballot, what about other states that believe he is still qualified to run for office regardless of the 14th Amendment?
I would expect that a goodly number of states will say, whoever the Democratic candidate is, you're off the ballot, and others, for the Republican candidate, you're off the ballot, and it'll come down to just a handful of states that are going to decide the presidential election. That's a pretty daunting consequence.
Even some of the liberal-minded justices seem to suggest that Congress needs to take action, either disqualifying a candidate or giving the states explicit permission to do so. Trump's name is on Colorado's March 5th primary ballot because they needed to be sent to the printer a month ago. Now we wait for the opinion by the Supreme Court to know for sure if the votes for Trump will count. In Washington, Marshall Zellinger, 9 News.
Meanwhile, the former president is projected to win the Nevada Republican presidential caucuses. Donald Trump has won more than 98% of the vote, but the victory was guaranteed when Trump's one remaining rival, Nikki Haley, chose not to compete in the caucus. She opted to participate in the state's primary instead. The former president has now won all 3 Republican contests so far, Nevada, Iowa, and New Hampshire, as he moves closer to the GOP's 2024 presidential nomination and a possible rematch with President Joe Biden.
New this morning, months after the Maui fires, thousands of people there are still displaced. 6 months ago, the wildfire on Maui killed 100 people and displaced 10,000 others. Many are still facing hurdles to rebuilding, and housing the evacuees has been a constant challenge. As of this morning, nearly 5,000 people are still living in hotel rooms, and according to the Red Cross, only a third of households who searched for emergency shelter have moved into homes.
Cleanup is just starting in Illinois this morning after severe weather caused damage across several areas in the state. Winds gusted at 60 miles per hour with a tornado touching down in the town of Henry. It blew apart sheds, barns, snapped power lines. So far, no injuries have been reported. This morning, storm survey crews are expected to be out looking at the damage.